excited for the senior class. I mean, I think you always remember your last game in Sanford Stadium. I certainly remember mine. And it's a special opportunity for these guys to thank their families and for our fans to thank the senior class that has really been special. They got a chance to finish into the top probably 5 or 6 in the history of Georgia senior classes in terms of wins. And that's a pretty remarkable stat when you think about the senior classes that have been through here. So they've done a great job for our program, and certainly me personally and our staff personally, this is kind of the group that we came in with, this freshmen, rising sophomores, and now they're headed out. So proud of what they've been able to accomplish. We move on to Tech today, who's arguably one of the hottest teams in the country as far as what they're doing offensively. They put 4 really good games together back to back, scoring a lot of points, playing better defense this year, and playing better on special teams as well. So there's a lot of challenges ahead of us. Anytime you play this type of offense, there's a lot of challenges involved in it, especially getting prepared in a week.
Raise your hand if you have a question.
Kirby, I guess you guys had 7 first-half possessions, or the opportunity for 7 against UMass. I saw where Alabama only had 4 first-half possessions playing this type of triple option style. When these games kind of shrink, and I know it's the defense's job to try to avoid 3rd and shorts and to get off the field, but can an offense that's been standing on the sideline a lot panic? And what do you do in that kind of sense in these kind of games if Georgia Tech is starting to control the clock?
I don't think you ever panic. I think you take advantage of your opportunities. You just may have less opportunities. I think panic comes from within. It comes from pressing, trying to do things you don't do normally. I think the number of opportunities or series or drives you may have, it may be less. I mean, realistically, it may be less. We probably have less than most people because we've been on ball control, time possession offense. Maybe not to the extent Tech is, but we understand those kind of games. And every offensive possession is critical, but when is it not? It's always that way.
Kirby, do you have any injury updates for Ben Cleveland and Monty Rice? And what is the importance of the middle linebacker's role against Tech's offense?
The middle linebacker is critical against Tech's offense. You've got to do a great job, but really both linebackers. I mean, to be honest, both linebackers have to be tremendous keyers. They've got to be able to read, react. They got to be good tacklers. They got to be athletic and be able to play in space. As far as Monty and Ben, Monty is probably not going to be available this week. He's doubtful to be able to play. We think that he'll get better quickly. We hope he'll be back, but don't know when and don't know if it'll be this week, but he will not practice today. And then Ben is continuing along the same path. I mean, Ben's cleared to play and he's back. He's just getting over a little ankle injury. And then that coupled with his leg that we talked about after the game the other night, he's just fighting back. We hope he'll be back this week. But I mean, he's playing on the punt team. We're just trying to be back 100%.
Kirby, you guys have subbed so much on defense against triple option against Georgia Tech. How much do you think you can sub and continue to do that?
I think it depends on how many guys can play winning football for you. It's not a big sub-type game for them. They're not in a lot of different personnel packages, but it certainly can sub if you have quality players that can play. And I think part of morale, it really doesn't have anything to do with Tech's offense. It has to do with how many guys do you have that can play winning football, and you want to keep guys out there fresh. You want guys to play hard, but I think that's yet to be seen because we got to wait and see how the guys read, react, play, and key their plays, and we'll have the best players out there.
Coach, just to follow on the injuries, I know you got a laundry list of them, but specifically Cade Mays, Kendall Baker, some of the other guys. Was Walter Grant okay?
Yeah, he's had an ankle that's been ongoing, but he's practiced with it, he's played with it. He played in the game the other night with it, so he's fine. Cade, we're not sure if he'll be available this week or not. He's not going to practice today, but we hope to get him back soon, as soon as he gets cleared. And then Kendall was very doubtful.
You mentioned the other day about losing guys that were very experienced about going up against Georgia Tech's triple option. What's the coaching points for first-year guys that are facing this offense for the first time in college?
A lot of coaching points. You got 2 or 3 hours. I mean, you can't just define them in a few words. Eye control, discipline, toughness, tackling, it's limitless. So you've got to be disciplined. You got to do your job, and you got to keep things the right way. And if you don't, they expose you. Paul does a tremendous job of seeing when people are out of place or seeing when people don't do things the right way, and he exposes you at it. He's done it for a long time.
Coach, you said last year after the Tech game that you had been working on that triple option offense pretty much the whole season. Has it been the same way this season?
Yeah, we didn't work on it the whole season last year. We did it in fall camp. We did it a few weeks during the season when we felt like we had an opponent that we had gone against like similar to our offense. If they had similarities to our offense, we used an extra period to work on Tech, but we didn't do it every day of the week last year, and we didn't do that this year. But we certainly had off week, preseason camp, and we also worked on some Mondays, about the same amount we did last year. But difference is more who you're doing it with. And last year we were doing it with guys that had a lot more carryover. This year it's been new for a lot of guys, and that's the biggest difference.
Coach, I know the level of talent isn't the same, but can you guys use that opening game against Austin Peay on those triple option packages at all as a reference point, or is it totally different?
No, that's not close to the same. It's not the same offense. Austin Peay is really not a triple team, to be honest with you, and these guys are really unlike anybody we've played.
Okay, obviously you mentioned discipline in just about every question, it seems like. How much is the discipline required for this offense different from maybe a team like Auburn you mentioned where there's a lot of misdirection for that offense as well?
There's no similarities. I mean, you have discipline in all football, so don't take it that I'm saying you need discipline. Oh, you don't need discipline against Auburn or Florida. You need discipline in football, period. But when I talk about discipline in this, it's not, I mean, it's eye control, it's patience, it's doing your job over and over again and doing it exactly right. And it's repetition. I mean, you can't get enough reps to get really good at it. And we're trying to multiply those reps in a small period of time, and you can't catch up to the number of reps they've had blocking what they see compared to us doing it in 1 week. So it makes it tough, and you just got to have kids that buy into it and love playing against it and care about it.
Kirby, we've talked to Tyler Simmons after the last couple of games. It was Holloman before that. It seems like somebody different is stepping up at receiver. You've talked about how you like their blocking, their willingness to play on special teams. Is this kind of a blue-collar group that you, I mean, it doesn't seem to be a star-studded group, but it does seem to be a group that's been very efficient. And, I mean, with, I guess, 5 or 6 guys, do you like the numbers that have worked out for you at receiver?
Well, we have good balance in the room, and we have great camaraderie. I think they all enjoy being around each other. They love seeing each guy get the limelight at different times. I mean, Tyler had some big games early in the year where he made some plays, and he's just now kind of getting back. He had an injury where he was out of whack for a little bit, and he's played well the last two weeks really, and he's played well in practice. I think each one of those guys has had a game where you'd say, oh, he's the guy, he's the guy. You don't have to have a guy. You don't have to, you can do it by committee, and those guys are talented. Just because you say, well, they don't have a star-studded group, they don't have a star, one of those wideouts could be on someone else's team and be a star, but we don't sell individual goals, we sell team goals, and we sell winning, and that takes care of itself. A lot of guys, for selfish reasons, want individual accolades, but that's not really how the NFL works. They're not drafting a guy based on the number of receptions he has. They don't do that. I mean, some of the best wideouts in the NFL right now came from SEC teams that didn't have a lot of catches. So we look at it as saying, hey, you're going to develop as a player and a team player, and you're going to grow on special teams, and the next level will take care of itself. Right now, we're trying to win football games.
Coach, talk a little bit of a post-game video. I guess you did after the game, talking with your team, talking about you're already in tech, you were in tech mode. I just wanted being a Georgia guy, player and all that. What does being in tech mode mean to you?
Focus, concentration, effort, toughness, competitive fibers. I mean, Tech's one of our rivals. I mean, who's not? So it's like, next up, I mean, you look at our schedule, it's like everybody's a big rival. These guys are a big rival. and we've got to do a good job against them because it's a tough matchup, it's a tough game to play, and we got to send our seniors out the right way.
Piggybacking on his receivers question, Terry's, I guess kind of the leader. What has he meant to that group, and what has he meant to you in the 3 years you've gotten at him?
Terry's grown as a kid. I mean, when I first got here, I think he was his practice commitment was there, and he got better at it, and he got better, and he got better, and he worked at it. He's gotten a lot better as a blocker. I think he's gotten physically stronger. He's been a really good wide out here the whole time he's been here. I think the biggest thing Terry's helped with is being able to play inside and outside, and he's done it with a really good work ethic, and he helps keep those guys level-headed in that group. There's some young guys in that group. He's been a kind of good leader for the whole group the whole time he's been here.
Kirby, we talked about scheduling this time last week. Obviously, Georgia Tech with its offense, saw the Citadel did Alabama for a half. Do you have any philosophy when you're scheduling all opponents? Do you look at the triple option and say we don't want to deal with that?
Well, I think it's hard to in the Georgia Tech situation because it's who they do and it's a traditional rival. You don't run and try to get away from that. But if you're asking me, do I want to schedule a triple option team? I prefer not. I mean, that's not what I'm looking forward to playing. To do that. My whole thing in scheduling is I want to play as many good football teams as we can. And it's never really been about the offense. It's been about the home and home. It's been about opportunity to play big games. I mean, that's important to us in our future. It's not really necessarily what offense they run, but given the opportunity, I would rather play a style offense that we will play more often in our league.
Your impressions of their quarterbacks, Marshall and Oliver, in terms of what they bring to the table and any change when one guy comes into the game?
Extremely talented. Both guys are extremely talented. I know both guys we recruited. I think one at Alabama, he came to camp a lot of years. He's a competitive, tough. I mean, I think about the years he's been there and the toughness he's played with, and having him and Terry and Tay Crowder in camp kind of growing up. Those kids coming from the same area over there, they do a tremendous job. They're competitors. He's a really good football player. And Tobias has been the same thing. He's given them a new element. The kid's really tough. He's able to carry the ball. He does a lot of good things for them, and they get good football players. Paul does a great job with those quarterbacks.
Obviously, Roquan had a great game against Tech last season, but what enabled DeAndre Walker to have the game that he had, 6 tackles and a career high for him in that game? Do you feel like he's continuing some of those lessons from last season into this game as well?
Yeah, DeAndre kind of had a little bit of a breakout game. He got to play more in the game first and foremost. He got more opportunities, and he does a good job. He's a good athlete. He's tough to defend because he's got long arms. He's extremely athletic. He's fast. So he's your prototype outside backer type guy to play with. So he does a good job playing in it. He gets excited about playing against these guys.
Coach, I know Justin didn't play a lot of option at Harrison, but having that running quarterback kind of face the defense, is that going to be a help this week too?
Absolutely not. Justin doesn't do anything like what they do, and nor will he be able to come over and give us a picture of what they do because we're not doing that with Justin. So there'll be no carryover there.
Kirby, I know that you've talked multiple times about intrinsic motivation and wanting your players to just be motivated because it's the right thing to do or play hard is the right thing to do. But when you start talking about Georgia Tech, they've won their past 2 times here in Sanford Stadium. Is there any defend your home turf message as even a part of your process as a coach, and especially for this game and this particular situation?
Yeah, that's been a message all year. It's not been about Tech, obviously. It's been about the teams that have been championship teams have defended their home turf. You've got a bulletin board about it. When you win your games at home, it gives you a much better chance of winning the East. When you win your games at home, it gives you a much better chance of winning the SEC. And we've talked about that all along, and we want to continue to do that. And I think that's a big part of it, not because it's Tech, but because it's our home stadium. And we want our fans to come out and support these guys, even over Thanksgiving break. It's critical that we have the momentum and the fan base behind us to make it an advantage for us. But we want to play well for these seniors. These seniors want to go out on top.
Coach, how fluid is the defensive adjustments? I've read different defensive gurus talking about how Paul Johnson changes on the fly. Do you get involved? How much communication is there between the box and the sideline and the adjustments during the game?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, it's always moving parts. I mean, you're trying to adapt quicker than they do, and they do probably as good a job as anybody in the country at taking advantage of your weakness. I mean, he's, like I said before, I mean, you have your doctorate, you have somebody with a graduate degree, master's, doctorate. I mean, he's all the way up there. He's as far as you could be in the option world. So he's able to see things from the field that most people don't see because he watches it all the time. So if you make a mistake, he'll make you pay, or he'll expose you on it. Maybe the very next play, maybe the very next drive, but he knows what complements what. So for us, it's having the right eyes in the right place for our players' sake. And if we don't play something correctly, you better get it fixed quick.
Kirby, I think at the beginning of the season, you were looking for more explosive runs from your team. You've had explosive plays the last several games, and they're running the pass from a lot of different guys. What do you make of that? And also, with their new coordinator on defense, what's the challenge that he has brought to their defense?
Well, explosive plays, sometimes they come in bunches, sometimes they come from downfield blocking. You know, defensively, a lot of defenses don't tackle as well as the year goes on. I know we struggle with that at times where we don't tackle as well as the year goes on because, you know, guys get dinged up, guys get injured. You know, you don't play as physical, you don't practice as hard sometimes when you don't have your pads on as long. Guys take them off. So the explosive plays may stem from some of that. I don't know. But as far as the defense coordinator, he does a great job. His defense coordinator was out. He was really good when he was there. He's got a great reputation. You think about the defense that we played against when Yeason was here and Jake had to come in the game. I mean, the guy does a great job. They play really hard. They play really physical. And he's turned. That's the biggest difference in Georgia Tech this year is the way they're playing and how hard they're playing on defense.
2 more questions? One more? Take the last one right there.
Does Georgia Tech's offensive style and how it limits you change how you'll approach things offensively, i.e. the quicker you put them down by multiple scores, the better?
Well, I mean, I always want to put people down by multiple scores, don't you? I mean, I don't know what game that you go in and say, well, let's keep this one tight for a while. I mean, I love the theories behind all this, but I mean, I would love to get a lead if that's what you're asking. I mean, but that doesn't put any more pressure to say that we gotta have it. You gotta play the game that you're given, and you gotta do a good job managing whatever it is, whether you're behind, ahead. I mean, it doesn't matter. You gotta do a good job managing it. So, thanks.